Go. Go, Sydney. Go, Lupe. Sing.
She doesn't sing, we sing.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sydney. Happy birthday to you.
There. Happy?
Yeah. It'll last forever.
Fail. Send me to the show.
No, you have to dunk your head in it too.
No, you crazy.
What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, USC did get another transfer commitment from an Arizona defensive lineman in Kyon Barr. Or Bars. Let me just make sure. Yes, Kyon Bars. Excuse me. Yes, he was very productive out there in Arizona. One of the better defensive linemen in the Pac-12s, and he is actually a California kid also. So it's good to bring him back home as well. Hopefully, to bring back a lot of these guys who ended up leaving California because they weren't either recruited by USC with the prior coaches, or they just didn't think they could make it. But now, because they are good enough, you can make it. So hopefully we get a couple more of these guys. But yes, congrats that he got on the team, and definitely looking forward to him helping out that defensive line. And also the 2023 linebacker from Manning, Louisiana, Tackett, who is a 4-star. He definitely should be a 5-star because he's not only a great linebacker, but he's a really good offensive player for them. He plays sometimes quarterback, but mostly running back, and he was just as good of an athlete. He should be a 5-star athlete. But with all that being said, he did already have an announcement today that he signed and sealed and delivered to USC officially, which is kind of crazy, only just because a lot of these guys wait to sign on the 21st, I believe it is, that National Signing Day, or whenever it is, I forget. But I believe now you can sign anyways, and he just didn't care about all the fanfare and all that stuff. So fanfare, excuse me. So luckily, this is all about business, all about football, and it's definitely going to be one of the better defensive players coming into USC. I believe he definitely even has a chance to wear number 55, which is like the number 10 in soccer, which is like your best player, or something like that. 23, like a lot of people don't wear that in basketball because it relates to Michael Jordan. But yeah, I definitely think he has a chance to be that type of player for USC pretty soon. Then Quinn Cook, an ex-Duke and Laker player. He's playing over there in China. Didn't really get a chance in the NBA this year, but it's definitely proving really well because he ended up dropping 54 points the other day. I think he went like 8 for 12 from the three-point line and ended up getting like 75+% shooting percentage overall from the field. So it wasn't like he was just jacking up 100 shots and shooting 50%. He still shot it at a good level, and from the highlights you could see he was in his normal Duke and ex-Laker that I see in rhythm, and it was just awesome to see because he is one of the guys that stayed all 4 years, and that very final year he led them to the championship in 2015. So it's definitely very excited for him. Usually when NBA guys do good like this, where they get a good game or two under them in China or somewhere else overseas, and they do end up getting a contract, because I think the Chinese basketball year ends at some point early next year, so then they could end up signing with the team and be on a playoff roster too. So hopefully that's a possibility for Quinn Cook. Then Makai Lemon, the wide receiver / cornerback from Los Alamitos out here in California, is committed to USC. Finally received his 5-star status. I know he was always kind of just a 4-star in both categories, but they still had him like as a 5-star athlete at some point because he was just that good at both positions. But he did earn his 5-star compared to Tackett this year, and definitely well deserved. He definitely earned it as well. So definitely very excited to get this type of player on campus at USC. Then Tuli Tuipulotu the other day was named the Polynesian Player of the Year from that I believe there's some type of Polynesian type of thing where they do like an all-star game and all that stuff, but it's voted on by a lot of those guys committee-wise, and they voted him as the best Polynesian player in college football, so that's pretty cool. He was going up against a lot of talented dudes, but luckily he ended up winning, so that's a good thing to have for him on his college resume. Still haven't heard if he's going to the NFL or not, or going to actually be playing in the bowl game in a couple weeks, so hopefully we'll hear something from him soon. And then USC basketball played the other day, I believe it was Wednesday night, against CSULB, so Cal State Long Beach, ended up winning 88-78. At one point, USC almost had a 20-point lead early in the first half, and then, of course, Long Beach just kept, cutting at that lead. It's been kind of tough because USC can get up with these leads. They were shooting really well from the three-point, but they weren't playing as well of defense in those longer spurts. They played better on offense at times, and even the younger guys like Reese Dixon Waters and Trey White, both young guys, ended up getting 20 points, their new career highs. So that's really good for them. Even Drew Peterson threw in like 15 points as well. But yeah, overall, I think they could be a lot better, especially because they're playing a pretty solid team this Sunday in Auburn, probably right before they all go off on Christmas break. So hopefully that ends with the victory on Sunday, but we will see. But definitely some bright spots for them with their younger players, in my opinion. When it comes to Jason Tatum, yes, the other day, I kind of forgot that it was the Lakers versus the Celtics. Not really paying attention that much to basketball as of this second. And then, of course, when I turn on the game late, Lakers were losing. Then they kind of make a big comeback, and now they're up by 10-plus points with a few minutes left and a couple spots here and there as Boston's cutting down the lead. I kind of knew that if they let Tatum go off and if certain shots aren't made, and of course the Lakers missed 2 free throws like the last possession of the game, and of course they let Jason Tatum tie the game, ended up with like 44 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists, and a victory for Boston in overtime against the Lakers. And of course, yeah, the Lakers started off good in overtime. Even Westbrook scored the first 4 points, but then all of a sudden the Celtics knew if they let him run the offense kind of, and then if the only play was to throw it to Westbrook and he's shooting the ball, because his first 4 points were driving to the basket, which was correct. But when he goes into his shooting mode and he starts missing more than 2 in a row, it always ends up bad, and he starts making dumb plays and turned over the ball as well. So I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or it's just the way Westbrook plays. But yeah, they got to get him out of there. They should have done like an offense-defense type of thing, because there were fouls. They could have switched him out when they went back on offense. But either way, yeah, congrats to the ex-Duke player Jason Tatum with Boston. But of course, he always has a hard spot against the Lakers, because they should have drafted him that year instead of Lonzo Ball. And of course, yeah, just dumb stuff. Now we got to deal with it. So congrats to him. Then Lincoln Riley had a pretty nice, theory about what, this first year at USC, the head coach was trying to implement and all this stuff. It's a great quote. Let me read it to you real quick. So, year 1 was about proving the concept. Year 2 is about building a dynasty. You come to USC to play for championships, period. So obviously, that definitely turns something in all these players, because they ended up going 11-2, have a chance to be 12-2, and they're playing in a New Year's Six bowl game when last year they were 4-8. Pretty unsuccessful season last year, and it's a quick turnaround. And I know a lot of people say it's because of the transfers, but you never know. A lot of teams had transfers this last year and didn't do as well either. So it's just about the right players getting that correct mentality, and luckily they got the correct players to do that, and hopefully they are getting some more of those guys, whether it's transfer portal or coming in from high school, because now they can say, look what we did in our first year. Imagine if we added your type of talent, whether it's coming off the bench or if you're that good enough to play right away, we will play you, and look at the results, and we're going for championships. That's what Caleb Williams said once he finally made his world tour back from winning the Heisman from New York in a press conference the other day. Was he's been telling all these guys, whether the transfers or guys coming in young, that yeah, we're here to win championships. I might only be here for 1 more year, but there are a lot of good guys still coming in to help replace not only me but other guys, and hopefully it could be one of you. So if you're not coming here to work and coming here for selfish reasons, then just go on your way, go somewhere else. And I kind of like that mentality, not only from the head coach, but also from the main quarterback himself, the Heisman winning quarterback, who still is coming back for one more year. So overall, definitely very exciting things for USC's future, in my opinion. And Caleb Williams, during that press conference, he did say that he was confident about playing in that Cotton Bowl game against Tulane. He says his hamstring is feeling better. And obviously, he gets about another 3 weeks to heal it up. Hopefully, in that time, he does get some practice in and some workouts and stuff, so he doesn't just go out there and make it worse, and then somehow he ends up missing an entire year. So hopefully, it's going to be nothing too crazy. He did protect himself in the game as well, but hopefully he might pull himself early so that Miller Moss can help lead the team to a victory if needed. Then when it comes to an NFL analyst, they did recently say that if Caleb was eligible to be drafted this year, and he's obviously eligible next year, either way, he's still going to be the number one quarterback in that person's mind. So it's obvious that this guy has a lot of talent. I know a couple of the guys like Bryce Young from Alabama, C.J. Stroud, the quarterback from Ohio State. I think they're pretty talented ex-California guys as well. They could be okay. I know there are some limitations for them. Caleb seems to be that right mix between both of them, and he could be a special player. It's just this is the first time he's kind of dealing with some type of injury, so we'll see how he bounces back from this. But overall, yeah, some great high praise for Caleb Williams going into the NFL next year. So yeah, overall, that's pretty much how it went down. For the news, not that much crazy stuff to report on, but I know USC does have a lot of commitments, whether from high school or transfers, as well, that they offer that are on campus as we speak from Friday to Sunday, especially like Tony Grimes, the cornerback from North Carolina, who's really good, Sam Green, the 2023 defensive lineman that they've had. There's a lot of great guys. That Stewart guy from Coastal Carolina, the defensive end, another solid defensive end from Western Michigan. So I would not be surprised if after this weekend we'll see the fight on emojis from Lincoln Riley or other people on the staff on Twitter, because usually when they put those out a couple days later, then one of those players that were recently visiting or that they were recently talking to commits publicly to USC. So hoping for quite a few of those emojis on Twitter in the next few days, and hoping a lot of good things happen for them. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.